Hi, everybody. Happy Wellness Wednesday. Master trainer and wellness enthusiast, Kiona Leah, back with you guys again. This week is all about mind over muscles. We did a fantastic class on Monday that is still getting some popular votes and people trying to purchase it, which is super exciting for me. Working on those international purchases, we still seem to have some issues with figuring out how to pay internationally because the three different ways I have to pay apparently all seem to not work for international folks, but we're working on it. Of course, tonight's Wellness Wednesday is all about a healthy mind because we can't have mind over muscles if our mind's not healthy. Now, a couple years ago, as my father started declining with his mental health, I started getting really more interested in this. I saw a wonderful PBS special while I was wrapping Christmas gifts, getting ready to celebrate the holidays, that had a lot of fantastic advice in it about things you could do for your brain. And I got very interested in it. I even got excited and thought, maybe I should buy this for my dad. Of course, one of the things that all of us know is that you cannot help those who do not help themselves. So I realized probably was not going to work to give my dad something about his aging brain when he hadn't said anything about his aging brain. Instead, I bought him some Sudoku puzzles because he always enjoyed things of that nature. And that is something that's healthy for your brain. I about a year or so after that, came across this amazing series called Broken Brain, which was an 8-part series that had these lectures that were an hour to 2 hours long about all these various things that you could do for your brain. And I'm still pouring through that information. I need to spend more time studying it. And the most recently, I stumbled across Dr. Mark Amen, who is a gentleman who has a center, actually, the Amen Institute. One of the centers is not far from me in the Washington, D.C. metro area. And there are a couple others scattered throughout the country. And Dr. Amen is really big into brain scans. He is very much a doctor and believes that until you know what you are working with, you only are kind of guessing at what to do, which is very, very good advice. But for those of us that aren't near a center or don't have the wherewithal to do something like that, here is his acronym that I put in the title for things that you can remember to do to start really healing your brain on your own. The acronym, it spells out Bright Minds. B.R.I.G.H.T. M.I.N.D.S. Bright Minds. And what that stands for is B stands for blood flow. Of course, when we do our workouts, we get a lot of that going, and that helps enhance your brain as well. R is retirement. And this was one of the things that I think my father really kind of struggled with. When we retire, a lot of times we stop learning, we stop analyzing, we stop teaching, depending on the type of job that we had. And we don't want to do that. You want to keep giving your brain new skills to learn. One of the things I picked up after this, sort of much to the man in my life's chagrin or not, was I started working on video games because some studies have shown a certain level of gaming can be very good for your brain. Not too much gaming, a certain level. I haven't gotten near that level, but it is a skill I keep trying to work on. So, retirement, inflammation is our first I. And of course, inflammation anywhere in the body causes disease. And we talk a lot about that, especially in our work with Dr. Nicholas Perricone using this workout. Genetics, there are certain things that are going to make us predisposed to genetic disorders. Alzheimer's, dementia, and things like that can run in families. But remember, you are not a slave to your genetics. You can choose and make healthy lifestyle choices that will turn on and off different genes, even if you're prone to them. Also, you guys hear me talk a lot about the fact that you can get these genetic tests now that help you determine your nutritional needs to help balance a lot of that. So there's a lot with genetics you can do. Head trauma was another issue that my father also suffered from. He, unfortunately, in his 70s, had a boating accident. He went flying out of a boat and he broke 3 bones in his face. They did not at the time diagnose him with head trauma or concussion, which I still to this day believe was a misdiagnosis. The hardest part is if you don't have a baseline, you don't know what to go from. And when you're talking about someone who is an athlete and very far above average intelligence, when they start doing cognitive testing, it's not going to show up. And we really started seeing a decline for those last 5 years after he had that accident, unfortunately. So if you've had head trauma, those scans can be even extra important. Toxins, of course, food coloring, formaldehyde, any kind of toxin in the air, toxin from your skin, paint fumes, gasoline fumes. The list goes on and on and on and on. Our world is full of toxins. Working with a professional to help you determine which ones you're most hypersensitive to can make a big difference. But either way, try and clean some of that stuff up out of your diet, your personal products, and your household as much as you can. It's going to help your brain. Moving on to our second word, mind, mental health. Of course, right now, in this year of all the things happening, mental health has been of the utmost concern and conflict because so many of us are struggling so much at maintaining it, finding a good therapist, good therapy sessions, good things to do on your own, support groups if you don't have a lot of money, all can contribute to your mental health. And I know personally that a lot of these things have made a huge difference for me throughout this past year, as well as sharing with you guys. Even if it's just to a camera, getting out there and feeling like I make a difference in the world is amazingly good for my mental health. Our second I is infection and immunity. They kind of go hand in hand, obviously. And as we move into cold and flu and larger and larger numbers on that worldwide map of infections, this is going to be a big one and can really make a difference. And there have been studies that have shown that there are some pretty damaging effects of COVID itself on the brain. Keep yourself from getting infected, however that looks like for you. N is neurohormonal balance. A lot of our hormones affect our brain. A huge amount of our hormones affect our brain. Now, any woman that's ever had PMS, we already know this. How much are your moods and all these things, these thoughts that spin in your brain happening rapidly at certain times of the month? But it's not just that. Thyroid hormones, pituitary hormones, adrenal hormones, cortisol, stress hormones, all of those go to your brain and then go back out to the body and make a major difference. So make sure, again, a lot of that good testing with a nutritionist and a doctor and someone who can help you get a full panel can make all the difference in the world. But remember, healthy habits will help balance those if you can't do it. The D is kind of a cute Dr. Amen word of his own, diabetes. He is combining diabetes, which hits a lot of these categories, and obesity, this issue of controlling our weight and our blood sugar. Again, that blood sugar goes up to the blood-brain barrier, and you can have all kinds of issues. The brain burns a lot of glucose. A lot of glucose. It is one of the highest glucose burning organs in the body. So you've got to have good balance of the sugar, or you're going to over or underfeed that. And it makes a huge difference. So diabetes. And our last one, of course, is sleep. Making sure you get enough and proper rest can make a huge difference in how your brain functions. And all of us know what it feels like to have brain fog after too little sleep, for sure. So that is our acronym of the day. Thanks to Dr. Mark Amen. You can look for his website, and he's got several free lectures that are not short available on YouTube as well. Ask nicely and I'll link them below. What do you guys want to work on next week? I haven't gotten a topic yet, and we still have a lot of November to go. Comment below. Let me know what you're interested in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all the pages and the channels. In the meantime, I'm Kiona Leah. I want to see you guys move, live, and thrive. I'll see you on the next one.